AskReddit by Thacker. How do you approach someone without them feeling like you are a creep? Sorry, I am no help, but I hear a lot of not to be a creep, but do not say this. That's very culturally different depending on where you are. That is, in Norway, you don't. What do you do in Norway to make friends or establish new relationships? Start with a genuine smile and a respectful greeting. Make sure to keep a comfortable distance and be mindful of their body language. Initiate a conversation with a neutral topic or a light, friendly comment. The key is to be aware of their reaction and give them space if they seem uninterested or uncomfortable. I think the biggest part is learning when to shut it down. So many guys just refuse to take no for an answer, or they linger when the other person clearly isn't interested. As long as you treat them like a normal person, it usually goes well. The moment you feel like you're bothering them, just say it was nice meeting you and leave. It's not hard. You're going to feel like a dumbass a few times, but at least you're out there trying. I met my girlfriend this way, but there was a lot of trial and error getting there. If it worked for someone like me, I'm pretty sure it can work for most people. Men will mistake kindness for sexual interest and women will mistake sexual interest for kindness. This is always in the back of my mind. In my 20s I found myself being borderline stalked by a taqueria employee that I would smile at in recognition because I literally got tacos from him 3 times a week, and I'm not a robot. 2. A corner store employee for same. 3. A different corner store employee, different corner store, for same. Before I realized that as a woman I was not allowed to be friendly or basically kind to men if I didn't want to sleep with them. Important tip: if you are getting the vibe that they think you are a creep, then they are not interested in you and you should not try to convince them otherwise. You should walk away. Or you just practice talking to people casually and learn the rules that way. With a guitar at hand, singing Creep by Radiohead. But I'm a creep. Don't do it until you're confident you understand body language and how people signal they aren't interested without saying so. Turning away from you, keeping their headphones on or phone out, short answers that don't add anything to the conversation, arms crossed. These are signs that they aren't interested. Generally, the feeling of creepiness doesn't come from someone approaching you, it comes from someone not understanding or not caring that you aren't interested and continuing to engage, assuming you don't open with some kind of lewd or aggressive comment. Don't approach strangers in places where they can't leave. For example, if they are waiting on you at a restaurant, or in places where they are busy and unlikely to want to talk, in the middle of a workout. Be friendly, polite, and disengage if they're giving off the vibe that they aren't interested. Be hygienic and presentable, leave plenty of space between you and the other person, and read your surroundings. It doesn't matter if you're attractive. You won't come off as a creep if you do these things. I think most encounters that start with an approach are doomed. I always just picture some rando making a beeline for the other person as they're walking down the street. Their hackles will be up from the start, because people don't really meet people that way. People who approach you on the street are usually trying to panhandle, sell something, get their petition signed, or worst case scenario, rob you. Yes, even if that woman you see on the street is the prettiest woman you've ever seen, that doesn't make her your soulmate that you'll lose out on if you don't hit on her. You don't know anything about her at all. Meet people in places where you both have a reason to be, and talk to them like people. Don't open with a request for a date. Again, you know nothing about this person yet and whether you'd even want to date them. Talk a few minutes and you might find out they're a cloud cuckoolander who thinks aliens did 9/11. I've mostly met partners through mutual friends or at hobby events. The hard truth to this is that there is no trick. Basically, there isn't always some way to approach someone the right way. Sometimes, in some contexts for some people, they're just not there to be approached. And that is alright. That girl at the gym may just be there to work out, or the one at the bar may just be there for a night out with friends, or the one at the grocery store may just be there to get her shopping done. Sometimes there's just no right way to approach someone. They're not there waiting for someone to approach them and hit on them or talk to them or whatever. Accepting this truth is the most important thing when it comes to meeting people like this, because most people assume that there's always a way and they're just missing it. Of course, that's not to say it is always the case, and it's not always apparent by just looking at someone. Sometimes you won. Other than that, if you generally can't tell what constitutes as creepy behavior and what doesn't, you have bigger problems. Be hot and dress normal is the safest way. Talk to them like a normal person. Just act normally. People are social beings. Most will definitely talk to you. Okay, got it. Just don't have the paralyzing fear that is causing sweat to my hands to shake uncontrollably. Easy. Me personally, I find it's better if you remove your human skin mask and wash up a bit and maybe bring some muffins with you when greeting them. Well, I wouldn't approach in most circumstances. Unless I was asking for directions or if you genuinely have a nice compliment about something they are wearing and move on after without harassing them. Approaching someone for no real reason is a creep move in my opinion. I love talking to complete strangers at the bar, but that's the correct setting for this kind of thing. That's the neat part, you don't do some throat singing and crab walk to them while not breaking eye contact. Then give them your 4-dimensional name and give them a firm handshake with your left foot. Make sure you're doing it in a place where people have a reasonable expectation of being approached. What Pickup Academy clowns misses that nobody's in the mood to be hit on when they're doing errands. What Pickup Academy clowns misses that talking to other human beings doesn't mean that every person has to be the object of attraction. Don't be ugly. Sad but true. Or, just don't approach them. You can't control how other people feel, and that's an important thing to learn because it'll remove a lot of stress once you get used to thinking it. If they have something from a show game, like a pin or a shirt with a character on it, you could compliment that and ask them about the show game. Oh, you like X ? If they are open to a conversation, they will elaborate on that subject. If not, you'll get a curt yes or no and you should take that as a cue to go about the rest of your day. Also, don't approach people who are clearly avoiding being approached. I see so many people online talk about girls being on phones and how to get their attention, and I don't want to be that guy, but a lot of folks look at their phones specifically to avoid dealing with unwanted social situations. Have a normal conversation without making it about you trying to ask them out. Be attractive. Stomp your legs up and down while approaching them because stomping is the opposite of creeping. Once I had an introductory class for community college. It was a full day class, so we had an hour lunch break. I grabbed food from Panorama and took it back to the building to eat. Walking in with my food, I noticed a cute girl sitting alone who also had gotten Panorama. Without thinking about it nearly at all, I said, "Hey, nice choice," and literally just sat down at the table next to her and started talking. We talked for the rest of lunch. She turned out to have a boyfriend, but we maintained friendly conversation, and then that was that. TLDR: be friendly and confident. Edit. I will also point out for anyone who tries to pull this card out of their ass, I'm not a conventionally attractive dude. I'm hairy and quite overweight, average height. Wow, you talked to a woman like she was a person with thoughts and stuff? Crazy technique. I'm teasing. You are totally right. Unless you're naturally very handsome, it's best to stick to dating apps and being set up by friends. If you know, as in 99% certain, someone is interested in you, then you may approach. However, if you're rejected, accept it immediately and move on immediately. Hi. Simple. Maybe you can observe how they react and then move ahead.